Hey, it's Sebastian from Skycom Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your Poly Studio X30. So if you're a client of Skycom and we've recently sold you a Poly Studio X30, this video is for you. I'm going to go through a basic overview of all the features that the Poly Studio X30 has. And we're going to go over and show you how to use the device to its full potential. So we're going to use it connected through Teams because most of our clients are using Microsoft Teams. If you're using Zoom, if you're using WebEx, it's going to be very similar to those programs. So it's going to work seamlessly with them, changing your device settings in those apps. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to open up a Teams meeting. We're going to first show you that. And then we're going to get into a couple more settings that you can change within the Poly Studio. So let's jump into things. So in the Poly Studio, we have our HDMI connected in from our computer or system or television or whatever we're running the meeting from. We have it connected through HDMI so we can share our screen. The other thing we have connected is a USB-C port. That USB-C port goes to our laptop and allows it to pick up the microphone and camera. The HDMI cable goes back out to our device or to our television where we're monitoring it. In this case, I have it going to this TV in this main shot here so we can see what the interface of the Poly Studio is. So the other thing that you'll need is a wireless mouse. In the kit that Skycom sold you, we have most likely sold you a wireless mouse. If not, if you're using it close up, most people have it set up in their conference room, so you'll have a little wireless mouse USB dongle in there, and you'll have a wireless mouse that can control the Poly Studio system right there. So in order to see our screen, we have to go to device mode. When we first open up whatever device we're on, it's going to go to the Poly Studio menu. And we want to go to device mode so that we can see the Teams meeting setup. So we're going to hit device mode. It's going to load. So when we first open up our device mode, we're going to see a little vignette here at the bottom. And that's going to have our volume control. So if we want to control the volume of the Poly Studio, we can do that in meeting, as well as we can mute ourselves. Okay, so those settings are there for you. We can also exit device mode by clicking the big X there. We're just going to want to put our big Poly Studio mouse aside. And this is where it gets a little confusing. But now we're using our laptop mouse, okay? So you wanna make sure that you keep your laptop or computer mouse separate. We've put a little label that says Poly Studio on this mouse so that you know which mouse is which. And I'm just using the trackpad on this laptop. So anyway, so to join a meeting, to set up a meeting using the Poly, we're in device mode. Now we just have to do Meet Now or join our meeting on a calendar. We're just going to start that meeting. And now since the Poly Studio device is connected through USB-C, we can see ourselves in the screen here. You can see the Poly Studio right here. I'm right beside it. And we're just going to go to our device settings here and just double check that all the devices are set correctly. So once you plug this in and set this up with your computer, the Poly Studio X30 is going to be an audio device. So you can select that and it's going to make sure that the speakers and microphone are working seamlessly. Now, I was mentioning about Zoom and WebEx and other applications for virtual meetings. You simply have to go into their device settings, select the Poly Studio as a device for both. It's going to say Echo Canceling Speakerphone Poly Studio X30 Audio. Select that. Microphone, Echo Canceling Speakerphone Poly Studio X30 Audio. Again, you just want to make sure that both those devices are selected. If you're using noise suppression, we can just leave that off. The Poly Studio has a great noise suppression feature built in, so you don't need an external app to also do noise suppression. And for video, you have a whole bunch of video options. We have the integrated camera, which is what you would normally see, but we also have the Poly Studio X30 video as an option. So simply plugging in this USB cable here from the Poly Studio into the computer and system you're using will allow it to be a camera and audio device. Just like plugging in a USB webcam and it's exactly similar to that. So we can join the meeting. Great. Perfect. So we're in the meeting, all is well, we're speaking, people are picking us up. I can show you a meeting recording example that I've recorded in the past. I'll put that in here. So I'm just recording this just to show you the quality of a Teams recording. Zoom, WebEx, everything's going to be different. Teams is working out well for us here at SkyComp, and it is with our Office 365 partnership. So we're working with Teams and we love it. And it works especially well with our Poly Studio X30. So now that we're back out of device mode, I can show you how to turn on the tracking feature. Now, before you get into the tracking feature, you have to get your IT admin. If that's SkyComp, that's great. We can enable tracking in the network interface of your Poly Studio X30. We have a network plugged in, and it goes into your network, and so that we can control and update and monitor this device remotely. We want to make sure that you're able to join your meeting successfully, so that's why we have it connected. It also allows us to turn on settings like the tracking feature. So in order to turn on the tracking feature, we have it enabled in the internet, the IP menu, but we also have to enable it in the Poly Studio X30 menu. And you can do that as a user, and it's very straightforward. There's this little, we're gonna make sure to turn tracking on. There it is. So it obviously disables presets and other options, but now tracking is on. So if I get up and move across the room here, it should follow me, in theory. Hey, check test 1, 2. Are you gonna follow me? Come on, there it goes. It just takes a second. So you'll see, because I'm kind of standing at the edge of the room, it kind of gets a little bit distorted. If we come more center on here, let's see what that looks like. There we go, perfect. And this also works in a Teams meeting. So even if I sit down here, it should kind of center me a little bit better. There it goes. Perfect, nice close-up. Look at that, looks great, okay? So now we're gonna go back to device mode, like we did before, to join our Teams meeting. There we go. We're going to meet now, start meeting. We'll wait for that to load. You'll see that the Poly Studio is set there. We're going to join now. We don't need to copy the link to other participants. So we're in the meeting, everything's working nicely for us, and we're just going to, again, move in the meeting so that it tracks me. Hey, check test 1, 2, give it a moment, it'll find me. Just takes a second. There it goes. So it goes to whoever's talking and whoever is on in front of the camera, obviously. If they're behind the camera, it can't track you. But we're gonna move over here just to give you a basic overview. So now I'm off screen, but it's still gonna find me because I'm speaking. Just give it a second there. So it automatically cut to it. It didn't do a digital pan or zoom. And now if we just move a little bit over, it'll frame me up again. Just giving it a moment to load, of course. Patience with AI technology. There we go, look at that. Pretty fancy. And again, if we go a little bit closer to our camera and sit, it's going to crop and adjust accordingly. So there you have it. Even now, I see it zoomed out. It didn't like being that close in my face, so it zoomed out. It realized that I was really close to the camera and pushed out a bit. So the need for camera operators is becoming extinct because AI has it figured out. It's a pretty great system. And that's really, truly how to get the best out of your Poly Studio X30. If you're wondering about audio levels and video quality, we can go through in another video that I'll link in the description of this video on the specific settings that you can change within your network interface of the Poly Studio X30. But if SkyComp's working with you, you're gonna have that stuff covered. We're gonna set your settings to the best possible video quality and utilize this 4K camera and 4K sensor. So you'll notice I didn't mention too much about audio either. Your audio settings, the automatic ones that the Poly Studio comes set with, are phenomenal, and we have tested thoroughly through Teams meetings in our own office, and it is a seamless process. If you're having audio troubles, we will gladly take a look at that, and it might just be adjusting a few small settings within your audio devices to make it work again. But here we are. But that's the Poly Studio X30. That's how to get the most out of your system. The tracking feature is really great if that's what you need for your office. You can also just set it to standard, just sitting on a wide shot mode, and that works great too, and that looks great as well. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope that this overview of the Poly Studio X30 was helpful to you. If you'd like more information about this video conferencing system, you can of course reach out to SkyComp or head over to skycomp.ca/learn. For more videos, you can check out the link there or there. And of course, if you like what you're watching, you can hit subscribe over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.